Hey, what's up, guys? It's your boy, the GUIDO, and we are back with another really great video. Thank you so much for stopping by the YouTube page. I really do appreciate it. In this video, we are continuing to have conversations with people from inside of the Academy Roleplay server. Now, this conversation is actually with one of the developers from the community, Evans. And we had a really great conversation. It was so much fun. We even learned about a secret obsession that he has and maybe what may be hidden on the side where we can't see, where the camera's not showing. You're just going to have to go watch it. He even showed us a sneak peek of some stuff that he'd been working on that hasn't been added to the city yet. So you're going to love the conversation. And man, I can't wait for us to get into it. Before we do that, though, if you're interested in GTA roleplay, or maybe you're looking for a community to be a part of, man, I want to invite you to come hang out with us. You can actually go to this website right here. It's the academyroleplay.com. The link is also in the description. We'd love for you to be a part of it. We have a good time together. It's a good community centered around a great mission and great heart. And I know that you would love it if you were a part of it. So go check out the link and come hang out with us. Also, while you're here, if you love the video, hit the thumbs up button. It does help me out. You can also leave a comment. Let me know what you think about this secret obsession that we uncover, or maybe what you think about how he answered some of the questions. Let me know what you think about my shirt. It doesn't matter. Leave a comment, shows engagement, and it does help your boy out. And if you haven't hit the subscribe button, why don't you go ahead and do that for me as well? All right? Hey, well, listen, let's get to the video, and I hope that you enjoy it. Mr. Evans, how you doing, buddy?
Doing well, doing well. I'm so glad to be here to, of course, discuss development for TARP and just have a conversation with you about some things. So I'm delighted to be here. Thanks for having me on.
Man, I am beyond excited to get you in here. I'm super pumped up about us being able to talk, and we've been planning this for a long time.
About a month now, maybe a
Yeah,
little bit over. Yeah.
yeah. I sent you a message. I said, "Yo, my schedule in July is jacked up, but I want to try to go ahead and get something down." And so yeah, man, we've been working on it, working towards this for a while.
And now we're here. I've been so stoked about this, so I'm ready to do it. Let's do it, brother.
All right, I am too, man. I am too. Well, let's start here, bro. Let's start with just introduce yourself. So we know you as Evans. We know you as the hey. Let me tell you what's different in the city guy. But who is that guy? Introduce yourself to us, man. Let us know a little bit about you.
Absolutely. Well, for those of you all that don't know, my first name's Jordan, so that's where the J comes from.
Okay.
And Evans is actually my real last name, so I did go with my real name there. Let's see here. I work for. I'm actually a salesman for a
Okay.
telecommunication company. You may or may not have heard of AT&T.
Okay.
So,
Yeah. Yeah. A
so
little bit.
that's the company I work for. My
Okay.
actual job position is a retail sales consultant, and what that means is basically I'm a salesman. So I sell from cell phones to tablets to television, internet services,
Okay.
things like that. My let me tell you this. I get a lot of satisfaction out of it. I do deal with a lot of not very happy customers. Let's just put it that way. But
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I do enjoy my job, especially working with businesses.
Yeah.
And I actually work with FirstNet, which is AT&T's dedicated platform to first responders. So I deal with
Nice.
EMS, fire, police, agencies, and actually try to convince them to switch over to our platform that gets them much better service and reliability and coverage for their devices. So I'm helping to install life-saving equipment and better help out our first responders all across the United States. So it certainly is very well rewarding. It really is to get people on that network.
Absolutely. That's great, man. So now do you folk, when you do your sales, is it business specific, or are you like just individual families as well? Or you're just straight business?
Good question. I deal with all of the above.
Okay.
All the above. So consumer, businesses, first responders, all of that, they come to me and I set them up based on what their needs. So I'm a consultant, and I make it happen.
Okay.
They tell me, all right, Jordan, I want X, Y, and Z. All right, I'll give you X, Y, and Z. Here's the cost. Here's when I can get it to you, so on and so forth. So that is my job. A little bit more now, transitioning out of AT&T. I actually have two degrees. I have a degree in criminal justice and a degree in sociology
Okay.
out of the University of North Carolina at Charlotte. So I went to study there for several years,
How about that?
and got involved with Mecklenburg Police for a little bit. Charlotte Mecklenburg up there in beautiful Charlotte, North Carolina. Enjoyed that. Absolutely enjoyed that. And then I moved down to Texas, and while I was there in Texas, unfortunately, my dad had gotten Alzheimer's, and my grandmother at the time, she was going downhill as well. So we needed to get him some better doctors. So I have relocated them to where I am now, down here in Mobile, Alabama.
Okay.
I'm pretty close to Trav there, down in
Yeah.
Orange Beach. So I'm pretty much at the beach. I enjoy.
Okay. I lost you. I lost you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, I can.
Oh, okay. I lost you for a second there. Your sound cut out on me for a second. Now you're in Alabama. I have to ask this question: are you a sports guy at all?
Okay, so that's a very interesting question. So not really, but I'll tell you what, I root for Alabama. I
Okay.
do. I lean more towards Alabama, not so much Auburn,
Yeah.
okay? But I'm more of an Alabama football fan, absolutely. Now, my family is for Auburn, so when I'm at home, I have to be an Auburn fan, but outside the house, I'm Alabama all the way.
I got you. I lived in Lagrange, Georgia, which is we were actually closer to Auburn than we were Mobile. Anyway. So the Auburn fans drove me crazy, and so I made that decision right there. I don't really have a preference one way or the other, but I'm going to pull for Alabama over Auburn 100% of the time. They were off the chain.
They absolutely, they still are. I don't follow them as much as I should, but they're doing pretty well. So yeah, absolutely. So
Okay.
other than that, outside there isn't really much. I mean, I go to work. I work 10, 12 hours. I come home and work on development stuff. Look at what needs to be done for the day and
Yeah.
tackle that, and go to bed and wake up and do it all over again.
Just run it back. I hear you, man. I hear you. Well, all right. So if there is ever a space where you weren't uh, earning degrees or now, hold on. I need to follow up on that though. I can't let that pass. So criminal justice. Now, did you ever just think about becoming a police officer? I mean, was that ever something that you'd thought about?
Yeah, yeah. I was involved with Charlotte Mecklenburg. I took the test, went through the academy and all that, and
Okay.
I made it through. But the thing is, my family kind of talked me out of it about a year or two after, and I'll tell you why. Just things were starting to happen in the world.
Sure.
I really didn't want to give it up. I really didn't. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the community and all that, the Charlotte community. But the problem was, again, things were happening. The world was changing, and I kind of saw the writing on the wall, and I said, let me. I don't want to, but I need to do something else. So
Yeah.
I did something else. My family's health was declining, so I kind of had to make some shifts in life there.
Okay.
So I made it through. Yes, yes,
Yeah.
to answer the question.
Awesome, man. Well, very good. All right. So if you're not doing sales and you're not developing, if there's any time in between, what do you like to do for fun, man? What is something that you do that you enjoy that's just like, hey, this is some me time that I'm just gonna blow off some steam. I'm just gonna chill. Like, what is that for you?
Oh wow, when I do get me time, man, I will sit and watch a movie. I love a movie.
Okay.
Sometimes I love to draw. I'm not very good at it. I'm working on it. It's a skill I'm trying to
Okay.
develop.
Yeah.
Okay, stick figures are probably the best I can do right now. But hey, I'm trying. I'm trying now.
No, that's great, man.
So, I like to do that. I work out in the yard quite a bit, making sure that the yard's kept up. So I do a lot of outdoor type things. So um, that's pretty much on the weekends when I have some time in the
Sure.
late evenings. I tend to do that. I've started working out a little bit more. I've
Nice.
started taking walks and doing some jogging. So I've gotten into that. I just don't have time to go to a gym, but I'll tell you what, when I get home from a long, stressful day, just walking in the neighborhood, talking to neighbors, talking to friends and people all throughout my neighborhood, it's great. So that's what I've been doing quite a bit lately.
Awesome, man. I love that. So, are you a? So obviously, we play. You know, TARP is a community. It's based around. It's not based around a game, but that's initially that's what kind of draws people in is the game part of it. You learn more about who TARP is later on. Are you a gamer, or is that kind of your thing? Are you a game guy?
I am very much a gamer. I am
Okay.
very much not so much now anymore since development takes up, oh my gosh, man, probably about 80% of my time.
Wow.
It really does. It really does. It takes a lot to manage TARP on the back end, as far as development goes, and making sure the server is stable and optimized the best it can. But when I'm not dealing with anything as far as development goes, I will either, which I've started doing a little bit more, is actually getting into the city. Believe it or not, I love taxi driving,
Okay.
and some of the officers have already pulled me over for speeding a couple times. So yeah, I don't know when I'm ever going to learn.
Yeah.
Probably not.
Yeah.
But and then I love strategy games like Civilization.
Okay.
That's a game I enjoy. I play some MMORPGs. I love that. So I've been doing Red Dead Redemption as well. Been playing the
Yes.
online part of that. I've been
Yeah.
enjoying that. There's some sci-fi MMOs that I like to play on the side with some friends and buddies every now and then. So I am very much a gamer. Absolutely. Before development, that's what I did.
Okay. Favorite game of all time? Is there one, maybe two that you think of? You're like, bro, this was my jam.
Oh man. Oh man. Okay. Okay. There was one game. Okay, was actually an MMORPG. I don't know if anyone will remember. I
Okay.
don't know. I don't know. But back in early 2000s, 2001, Star Wars was quite popular, and it still
Yeah.
is today, right? With you got all the reboots on Disney Plus, things like that. But
Sure.
Star Wars Galaxies, I loved
Yeah.
that game. I played that game 8 9 years, man, and I was a bounty hunter. I was chasing after the rogue Jedi that were
Yeah.
being hunted to extinction. I mean, I was everything that you could be. I loved it. It was a sandbox MMO. You made your own fun. It
Nice.
really was top of the charts for the longest time, and fortunately it's not with us anymore. It's gone. Sony killed it, unfortunately. But that still to this day remains my favorite game of all time.
Okay.
It
All
really
right.
does.
I like it, man. That's awesome. That's awesome. Very cool. Big Star Wars fan, I guess.
Star Wars, Star Trek. Yeah, I'm a sci-fi guy.
Okay.
Absolutely. I I grew up with it. I
Yeah.
grew up with it.
Yeah, I did
So
too.
it has a special place in my heart. It really does.
Yeah, I do too. Matter of fact, the other day I was talking to my daughters. My youngest daughter. All right, so the conversation started because during the summer, my youngest daughter decided she wanted to watch all the Marvel movies, and so from that we started talking about some other stuff. Anyway, I was trying to explain to her that the original three, 4, 5, and 6, are the best, and she was like, "They're boring." I was like, "If there's no 4, 5, 6, none of this exists."
Exactly.
She doesn't get it, man.
Ah,
She's about to be 13. She doesn't understand life yet, so I just got to give her a little bit of grace.
yeah, yeah. Give her a little bit of time. Sooner or later, she'll find the appreciation
Yeah,
for it.
no, I walked away from that conversation thinking I am failing as a parent that my kid doesn't understand how important these movies are.
Exactly. They set the stage, man. They set
Yeah,
the stage for the story. Yeah.
no, I agree. I agree. So, all right, so to kind of help us maybe get to know, and I want to talk about TARP, and I want us to get into that a little bit. But before we do that, you want to play? It's not a game, but it's random questions. Are you up for it?
Yeah. Let's do it, Chris.
All right. So what I've got is I've got a random question generator. I don't know what it's going to ask. Sometimes they're good. Sometimes they're stupid. Either way, we'll just go and see what happens, and just kind of hear from you a little bit. All right, here we go. First one is this: what TV show is your favorite?
Oh man, TV show favorite right now. That's a good question. I've been watching a lot of NCIS New Orleans.
Ooh, yes, that's a
A lot of
great show.
It is, especially down here in the South. I'm a Southern boy at heart. I
Yeah,
grew up with fields in my backyard.
yeah, yeah.
So, uh, uh, you know, I also lived in New Orleans for a while.
Okay.
Lived down there with my grandparents for a good while, each and every summer. So, I'll tell you what, New Orleans, in my opinion, was the best NCIS series. So
Okay.
that's what I'm watching right now, and I'm loving it, loving it.
Did you watch any of the new one, the Hawaii one? Did you watch any of that?
I haven't started watching any of the Hawaii yet. I want to
Okay.
get through New Orleans again. I went through the whole season already, but I want to watch it
Yeah.
again. Then I will alternate and move on
I
to the.
am a sucker for the CBS shows that happen in Hawaii. I don't know why, but Magnum PI, Hawaii 50, NCIS Hawaii, every single one of those, they just draw me in. I'm a sucker for them, man.
Absolutely. I mean, beautiful scenery, beautiful landscapes, all
Yeah.
that. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. All right. Um, all right. I told you some of these questions would be stupid. um, name three things in your refrigerator right now.
Oh, that's really random. Okay. I'll tell you what. Milk, ice cream, and strawberries because I just picked them up the other day.
Okay. All right. All right. What is your favorite thing about Christmas?
Oh man, family time without a doubt.
Okay.
Decorating the Christmas tree, having the fire going, which down here in South Alabama we really don't have fires going that often because it's
Yeah.
always so warm.
No, I'm
But
with you, bro.
I'll tell you what, I'm a big family guy, as I've already mentioned, and I'll tell you what, it's great to, especially around that time, to decorate the tree. Go out and pick it together as a family, come home, decorate it, and just spend that quality of time. Absolutely, without a doubt. That's really the whole meaning of Christmas. I
Yeah.
think it really is. So
So let me ask you this question, and this is important, and it's a discussion that happens in my house every year. When is it too early to start decorating for Christmas? At what point?
good question. Good question. I too have asked that question. I've been asked that question a few times. I would say 3 or 4 days after Thanksgiving. I
Okay.
think that's fine. I think that that works. That's fine. You're getting ready
Yeah.
for the holiday season. Right after Thanksgiving, absolutely. Go ahead and throw up the Christmas decorations, the lights, the trees.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Okay. All
around
right.
that time period.
So you think you if I were to say that someone, my wife, but just someone in general, wanted to put their Christmas tree up in October, that would be way too soon.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
will you call her and tell her? Will you? Because I've tried, it's not working.
Sure, sure. Got my phone right here. Go ahead and just give me a number. I'll do it. Sure.
Oh
Absolutely.
man, yeah, I am a day after Thanksgiving. That is my belief. Day after Thanksgiving, you put the Christmas tree up. My wife, she loves it so much. Man, she puts it up as early as she can. We have this discussion every year.
And let me guess, you don't win
No,
hardly
no, no.
any
I
of the
never
time.
win.
Oh,
I never win. I never win. What she really likes the most is she likes to put it up first and no just the lights. She just likes the lights part for some reason. So, all right, here we go. Let's see. Are you a prefer ketchup or mustard?
catch up, without a doubt.
Okay. Are you a coffee drinker?
Not so much anymore. I'm more of a tea drinker now,
Yeah.
believe it or not.
Okay.
Yes.
What kind of tea? Like, do you have a specific thing that you like? Like, how do you make that up? Now, you're talking
D
about like a hot tea, right?
well, no, not exactly, not
Okay. All
exactly.
right.
I drink more again, down here in the South, we love our sweet tea. Just give me a basic iced tea, maybe with some lemon, of course, ice and some sugar, and I'm good to go. That's that's my tea that I enjoy
Okay.
drinking.
Yeah.
That-
No, I like that. I like a good sweet tea as well. I'm a Southern guy myself, so I totally get that. All right, here we go. We already well movie. You said you're a movie guy. What would be? Is there like some movie, like a movie that stands out that you just love?
The movie that I just love, I'm going to have to take a page out of your book with Marvel.
Okay.
I remember sitting in a packed theater to watch the first Avengers movie.
Yeah, that's a good movie.
Watching that first movie, and at the end, when they rolled the credits, I looked at my buddy and I said, "Man, I think that's the best movie I have ever seen."
Yeah,
And I've seen a lot of them. I've
yeah.
seen a lot of 'em. So, and they certainly set the stage to develop other movies, and of course, they got better, even better over time. They continue to blow my expectations each and every time. So, but no, still to this day, the Avengers, the first one, still remains my favorite movie.
That's good. No, that's a great movie. All right, we'll do a couple more here. Let's see if we get anything good. Uh, do you have a celebrity? Uh, they said who's your celebrity crush. I don't like that question. Do you have a celebrity that you like follow that you're like you stay up with, or that you're a fan of?
Man, um, I'm gonna be honest. No, I don't.
Okay.
I don't. I don't have any celebrity fans. Celebrity crush, probably Jessica Alba. Probably.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm feeling you,
Yeah.
dog. I'm
So
with you.
yeah, I love her.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I like Jessica Alba. I think all right. So if I had to answer that question, there's a couple of celebrities that I really like. I like Justin Timberlake. I really like him. I don't know if you're a wrestling fan, but I love the Miz, and so I would say one of those two. I really like those guys.
Okay. I don't follow wrestling, so I don't know that second person.
Okay,
But
all right.
absolutely, I got the other one.
Yeah, so yeah, I like JT. I like him, and I've liked him for a while. All right, let's see one more if we can come up with a good thing. All right, here we go. This is a great question, and I think it'll help us. What is the very first thing you do? Um, what's the very first thing that you do when you wake up in the morning?
Believe it or not, first thing I do when I wake up in the morning, I probably have a problem. Probably have a problem. I check the TARP Discord.
Yeah,
'Cause I gotta see what happened overnight. There's something that has happened overnight that I
yeah,
have missed.
uh
There's
huh,
probably some kind of support ticket open, probably something going on in general chat. I've probably been pinged or something, so that's the first thing I do, and then I
yeah,
roll out, take a shower, get dressed,
uh huh,
get my tea, and walk out the door and go to work. So,
yeah.
that's the first thing I do is check Discord on my iPad.
I think that is I think that's there would be a lot of people in this chat that would totally agree. They'd be right there with you. My alerts come up, and I won't necessarily pull it up, but I'll just scroll through and say, okay, yeah, what's going on? What we got happening here? But that so me checking it is way different than you checking it. And that'll we'll kind of transition our conversation a little bit and kind of talk. Let's kind of get into some conversation about TARP. So let's start at the beginning for you, man. So we know what you do now, and we're gonna get there. But how did you get involved in the community? How did it all start for you?
Okay. Well, I want to let everyone know, first of all, that TARP is not my first rodeo when it
Okay.
comes to server development. It is not. I actually got started back in 2016. Okay. And I actually ran Georgia Roleplay with Fitz, Blitz, and Mr. Miles Miller.
Okay.
Those are my buddies right there. Those are my bros. Love them to death. And they were actually the other community owners with me. Blitz actually ran the sheriff's office, which is great. Which is
Okay.
great. So I started there, and after 4 years or so, I said, guys, I'm tired. I've been developing for this community. It's lasted this long, which is great, but I'm kind of ready to do something else. So I turned the keys over to them. And then I got involved in Red Dead Redemption with Red M instead
Okay.
of FiveM. Okay,
Yeah.
which, by the way, it's two totally different things to code. By the way,
Okay.
um, one day Fitz said, "Hey, look, man, I'm having some issues with this particular script for TARP. Can I send it over to you?" And he sent it over to me. He said, "Okay, well, thanks for fixing it, but I'm going to send you not a TikTok, but a Twitch video of Officer Messer." and I want you to check it out, okay? Because this is great. I mean, we've got something really going here.
Yeah.
So I watched it, and I watched it, and I watched a few other of his videos, and I'm sitting here and thinking, this guy's got a powerful message. I like what he stands for. He said, "Well," Fitz said, "Well, why don't you join, man?" And I said, "Well, man, no, I'm too busy with work, and of course I'm working with this Red Dead Redemption stuff, and I just don't have the time." He says, "Well, you do know I'm going to find a way to get you into this community." I laughed. I said, "Yeah, you probably will, but not right now."
Yeah.
So I worked on the Red Dead Redemption for about another month or two, and then unfortunately it was starting to go downhill. The community that I was working with Red Dead kind of told me, "Yeah, it's not taking off. We just don't want to do it anymore." So it died. And Fitz, believe it or not, messaged me the following day after all that happened and said, "I want you to join. Like, what do I have to do to make you join?" And I said, "Well, all right, send me an application."
Yeah.
So he sent me an application. I filled it out. I said, "All right, Fitz, it's filled out. I put in as much detailed information as I can. Let's just see what people have to say." All right.
Yeah.
So he said, "Okay, all right, we'll take him." So they took me on, and Fitz said, "Well, do you want to be a developer for the academy?" And I said, "Yeah, yeah, all right, I'll do it.
Yeah.
Absolutely, let's do this." So that is how I got involved with TARP. So Blitz actually brought Fitz along. So I think Blitz was the first one to join, and then
Okay.
Fitz enjoyed it, and then he sent me all those messages, and then it was just downhill from there. So that's how I got involved. So I was actually helping TARP development before I even was part of the community
How about
with
that?
fixing bugs. So yeah, interesting story.
I love that. That's very cool. That's very cool. All right. So you do development, and I think for me, so I am somebody, and I told you this when we were messaging back and forth. We talked about it a little bit. For me, I understand that there is, scripts and there are things that have to happen. And I see people, I'm in this group thing that is like script suggestions, and they'll put pictures in. But I'll be honest, I don't have a clue what any of that means. Like I am completely and totally clueless to it. So so could you explain to me what a script is and what it has to do with our community? But in all seriousness, just kind of talk a little bit about what development is. So we know you're Evans, you're part of the development team, but what does that mean exactly? What exactly does that team do?
Okay. A lot of great questions there. So I'm going to answer them the best I can.
Okay, all
Okay.
right,
Um, a script is basically a block of code that tells the server or your computer what to do.
okay,
So the job, you're a police officer in the server, right? So basically a script is what tells the server, okay, give the player handcuffs, give the player a gun, put X amount of ammo in the gun. Okay, so a script is just how it sounds. It's a block of code that tells the game what to do and when to do it.
okay,
Okay, so everything that you do in the game, we had no scripts whatsoever, it would just be a fancy walking simulator.
okay,
That's just what it is. Okay, you wouldn't be able to get into a car, you wouldn't be able to arrest people, you'd have no jobs, you wouldn't be able to do anything except walk around the world.
okay,
So script basically enhances the functionality of the server.
okay,
And so that's basically what it is. Now, let me tell you some things about development. Development, it's very, very important, very, very important, okay, that things are optimized as far as scripts because they run loops every few milliseconds, and that can put stress on the server, that can put stress on your machine. Even if you were to, even if you did have a most powerful machine that you could build, right? So it's all based on the software. So it's my job to not only write scripts, I can write scripts. Matter of fact, y'all have been using some of the scripts that I've written, like the airport script, for example.
okay,
Um, and basically, I want to talk about how important it is to optimize these things here. So let me talk about this. I have always been against. I've always been against custom cars. Now, before the audience closes out the Twitch and say, "Boo, Evans, no, no, I'm not watching this anymore." Let me explain my reasoning from a development standpoint to help
Okay.
you
All right.
understand why. Okay, what most people don't understand is these cars that you find on LSPDFR or GTA 5 mods, wherever it may be, they were not meant to be streamed over a network.
Okay.
They were not meant. They were meant to be for a single player game.
Okay.
Okay. Now, these car models, they're very detailed. We have a few in the city already. The police cruisers, you got your Chargers, your Crown Vics, your
Yeah.
Explorers. They have a great amount of detail in those vehicles. And when you add more detail to a vehicle, it increases what's called the poly count. Now, the poly count basically they're building blocks. They build up the car. They are
Okay.
what makes the car,
Okay.
or whatever model or object that you're attempting to create. So a lot of these car developers, they make their vehicles very detailed, and when you throw the vehicles into the server has to stream that to your machine.
Okay.
So you see the car on the screen, your buddy next to you sees the car on the screen from wherever he's playing at. But the size of these files, Chris, are outrageous. I think the Crown Vic or the Charger, one of the two, is over 100 megabytes in size
Wow.
just to stream to the server.
Okay.
Now, if you have a lot of cars in an area, you're going to suffer crashes. You're going to suffer texture loss. Basically, the city disappearing before your eyes, and then you fall through the map.
Okay.
Now, there are some ways we can optimize it. Okay. For example, some of these textures for some of these cars, there are in 4K. Like for example, there's a 4K Coca-Cola can sitting in the dash of some of these cars. Why do I need a 4K Coca-Cola can?
Okay.
It makes no sense. So there's
Sure.
some ways we can cut down on the size and the quality of some of these cars. Not in terms of visual, but moving it from a 4K to a 2K texture helps with streaming, helps with the file size and things
Sure.
like that. Now, with that in mind, keep everything that I just told you in mind.
Okay.
Have you ever stopped to think, or anyone in the chat ever stopped to think, why Rockstar, the developer of GTA, as you know, didn't put more time and effort into detailing some of the default cars that are in the game? Because clearly it's possible.
Sure.
I mean that's evident. I mean, look at what we have in the game so far with some of these custom vehicles for police. So have you ever stopped to wonder why they didn't detail them any further? I'm going somewhere with this here,
Okay.
but
I don't know that I have, but I'm interested to know what the answer is to the question.
okay. So here's the thing. Rockstar makes money by selling the game. So they have to make the game accessible to as many people as possible.
I got you.
That's why when a new console comes out shortly after, they port the game over to PS5, Xbox One, whatever it
Sure.
may be. Now, the reason it's so important to optimize, okay, is because we have to have the same mentality as Rockstar in terms of we have to make TARP accessible to as many people as possible because, what's our motto? Bridge the gap, right?
Right.
Exactly. So, how successful would we be in our mission if we throw in 50, 100, 150 cars and we just throw in any script that we find off the internet? Or I make 50 million scripts and I don't optimize them.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, is it a fun experience that you're going down the road and you fall through the map? Or the world disappears or you lag out? Now, as a streamer and the other streamers that stream TARP,
Sure.
you rely on your viewership, you rely on your subscribers and things like that, right?
Right.
So if I were to throw these things in that are not optimized, okay, well, the server will basically not function correctly. And you're going to wake up one day and say, well, I don't want to play on TARP right now because its server's not stable. I'm not having any fun.
Sure.
So what am I going to do? There's a new server that just opened up. I'm going to go check them out.
Yeah.
So now we've potentially lost. a content creator, a wonderful content creator such as yourself, and also a potential member.
Sure.
So everyone needs to think, well, sure, it'd be cool to have all this shiny stuff. Absolutely, without a doubt. The moral of my story is you can't have all this shiny stuff without it affecting something else. And I will tell you, Rockstar is big time against modding.
Okay.
Okay. They are big time against it. And I've noticed memory leaks in their software when a mod is executed in single player, particularly with LSPDFR, which is one of the reasons why I got out of playing it,
Sure.
was because after an hour or so, I would just have to reboot the game. The game would become so unstable, it'd become laggy.
Sure.
I wouldn't even have a city anymore because the city's disappearing. So I had to restart it every time.
Sure.
There's a memory leak in that game. And I do believe it is intentional. I do. That's just me saying that's my opinion.
Sure.
I'm not affiliated with Rockstar. I'm just
Yeah.
simply stating, in my opinion, they are very much against modding. So, I've needed to tell everybody that I look at their script suggestions. I look at every single one of them.
Okay.
BIP suggestions, whatever it may be, I look at it. But we have to be logical on our thinking as far as what we need to have versus what we want. So the process how we go about adding things is quite simple.
Okay.
I may wake up one morning and I may want to make a script to do something. Okay. I will make the script and I will send a message to the other devs. Hey, look, I have made this. Get in, check it out. Is it something y'all want to use? Something y'all don't want to use? Just let me know. Now that'd be something I made. Now, if let's say Trav, my boss in development, he's my boss,
Okay.
sends me a script, says, "Hey, Evans, I found this script here. Seems cool. Let's go ahead and see about putting it in." Well, I would review it, I'd look it over, and we'd sit down, we talk about it, and then we would send it, if it is a paid script, to Ryan, and then we'll have Ryan make the final decision. Yeah, this script looks good. Let's give this a shot. Then
Sure.
we'll put it into our dev server, which is the development playground.
Sure.
I have a field day in there, just all the things I can do. And then I test it out, and then I would go into the chat and say, okay, quality control. Here's what we've added. Here's X, Y, and Z. I need you to test. Get back with me. Now, what I've started doing is I've started increasing the amount of development time and testing because I've noticed lately some of these scripts that we've been putting in have been quite buggy. And I know they've been quite frustrating to some of the players. So I made a decision, at least for the stuff that I'm putting out, to increase the time that it takes in testing before we push it to the live environment.
Sure.
So everything that goes onto the server that you all play on gets tested in the development server before I even release it to the live environment.
Okay.
Because one, I want to make sure it's not going to break anything,
Sure.
right? Because it's just not an enjoyable experience if I throw it in there and then okay, server's ready to go, and y'all can't even log in. That becomes a problem.
Sure.
That's the process how we go for that. And of course, when bugs pop up, I love the tech support tickets. Those are great. Those have been very very helpful. Um, eh, I just want to let everyone know the more detail you can provide, especially when it comes to reproducing bugs or errors, that really means the best. That means a lot if you could do that because it's like bringing your car into the shop. Hey, it's making a noise. Okay, well, what kind of noise is it making?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, kind of give me something to go on here to try and diagnose and figure out what the bug is. So, and then we go back to the drawing board. We look at the script, try to figure out what the issue is with the bug. So,
Okay.
I know this was a very detailed, long
No, no,
explanation,
no. That's great.
but I needed people to understand we can't have all these cars thrown in. Now, we are going to have the VIP cars. Okay. I need to stress that y'all, we're going to have those. Okay. We
Yeah.
are going to have those, but I'm I'm still trying to get the technology to throw it in. We're running into some issues with that because the developer that made some of these VIP scripts, they're not talking with our server the way it should,
I got you.
and he's working. Meaning that some of these other developers are working with him to try and get it fixed. So I'm actually not working on the VIP system. I got my own. hands full and some other tasks. But
Okay.
I can tell you that they are coming. I need some more time and some patience. That's greatly appreciated. This is a very complex system. We want to make sure we get it right because it's important that we do, especially to VIPs, because their contributions to the server, it goes a long way. It really helps us all. So I want to make sure that we bring a very solid product to them. And unfortunately, these things just take time.
Takes time. I think man, that was an action-packed answer. I have a couple of follow-up questions.
Sure, please.
The first one is this: Can all right? So you talked about the very beginning. You talked about the little 4K Coke can.
Yeah,
I'm gonna. This may be a stupid question. I'm just asking it.
sure. Go ahead.
Can you go into the script? Is the script so detailed, and you just take that 4K can out and put in, and then could you replace it with like a Sprite can? Like, is it that meticulous, or is it just part of what you got?
Good question. Good question. That is a very good question. So let me tell you this: a car is not a script.
Okay.
A car is not a script. A car is it's a model. Okay. Here's the problem with that. Short answer is no. I wish. I wish,
Okay.
I wish, I wish,
Okay.
because that would solve so many issues. The thing is that these developers that make these cars, they lock the model.
I got you.
So even if I were to secure the model assets, the technology to build or edit the model, I would need the passcode that the modeler set up when he made the model in order to go in and remove that Coke can.
Yeah.
So the only real thing we can do is just optimize the textures.
Okay.
That's it. So
All right.
there's nothing model related that I can change.
So one thing in that, so that question made me think of this. Something that I've noticed recently is used to be when we ate something, everything was like a sandwich,
Yeah,
and and then now recently, I've noticed that when you eat something, it is, if you're eating a hot dog, it's a hot dog. If you're eating a donut, that's a donut. Now, so I'm assuming that that is a script that you had to go in and be like, make this a donut. Am I understanding that?
you have understood the concept. That's exactly right. That is a script that when you go to eat, it executes a series of functions in order and it tells the computer, okay, look, this guy is eating, pull out this object, play an animation, and then add X amount, whatever the food is, to the player's hunger bar. Now, shout out to John Arbuckle. He's the one that actually changed that, and he's
Okay.
doing great on development. He really is. He's learning. He's learning. He's learning it correctly. He really has made a lot of progress since then. So I have to shout out to him. He is the one that took the time to do that, and it's not an easy task to do. It's
Okay.
not. So kudos to him on figuring that out.
I love that. I noticed it the other day because I was passing out donuts to all the Leos that I was standing around, and they went to eat it, and I was like, "Hey, that looks like a donut." And so and it's those little things like that that I think are really cool.
It is. It certainly is the little things. I like to do little things like that to add some spice and add some realism to the server. And there'll be some things that I put in that I don't even put in the change log. I want y'all to find out. But you're right. You're right. The little things can make the most difference.
They can,
Absolutely.
because you see them and you're like, "Oh man, that's really cool," because that used to be a sandwich and now it's actually a donut.
No
But I
doubt, hot dog. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think the other thing about that is you said it takes time. So every single one of those things. So just I know you may know. This may be a really easy question, but let's just say you wanted to add a burrito and then you had to write the script or whatever to make it look like a burrito. Just that little function. How long does that take?
Chris, I'll tell you what. I've even had the simplest things take days.
Okay.
Really can take days. I could have the function written, but then the issue is debugging, right? Getting it working the way it needs to work and
Okay.
function. So, depending on the complexity of what I want it to do, you could be looking at 10 minutes to 10 hours Some things can even take 10 days, depending on how complex you want it to be. So for something like that to change it to a burrito, first of all, the burrito model would have to be in the game
Sure, sure.
somewhere. Okay, if the burrito model doesn't exist, then it would have to be made from scratch.
So
Uh,
let me ask this. So let me ask this, and just to follow up, and not to cut you off, I'm just thinking of so many things. So let's just, and I'm burrito, whatever. Somebody puts in a suggestion that does not exist or in the world of 5M GT. It doesn't exist. Can it be written? Like, is that possible, or is it just some things you just can't do, and you just gotta figure it out?
that's a good question. I'm going to say there are some things that the GTA 5 engine limits
Okay,
that cannot be done. It just depends on what it is. But I will tell you what, as the years have progressed since 2016, there are things that I've been told that was impossible that I have actually seen done.
okay.
So it also depends on the software, the 5M software that we're using, right? So it gets complex. They develop it. There's 5M developers out there, so they enhance the software to make certain functions a reality. So I'm not ever going to say never that no, it is impossible. It cannot be done. There's just sometimes we lack the technology in order to be able to do it at that time.
All right, just for fun, no names, but what is a suggestion that you've seen come through the script and you've thought that's not even possible? Can you think of anything? Like
Wow.
just off the top of your head, something that's come through the VIP suggestion or whatever, and you saw it and thought that's not even something that is even possible at all.
Something that was just not possible. Um, I cannot recall one right now.
Okay, all right,
I cannot recall one. I've been pretty impressed with some of these suggestions. A lot of them, if not, I would say about a good 90-95% of them are possible. But the ones that are not possible, I can't recall right now. It's been so long.
okay, all right, all right. So I have another question.
Mhm.
Obviously, I know you can tell by that what I'm asking. I know nothing. I'm probably not even asking the right questions. That's how little I know about this. So, all right. So we have a server. I'm I imagine things in the context of budgets. That's kind of my world. That's how I operate. Is I operate in budgets and those kind of things. So I'm imagining we have a max server size, and then we have everything that we add in takes from that, and then there's a ceiling. I'm assuming as to what you can put into that.
You are correct. There is a ceiling, and if you hit that ceiling, you're going to end up having issues. You will. That is why you, I don't know if you're gonna. You probably will remember this. I don't know. We'll see. Um, Back in, I think it was January or February when we made the transition to another server platform.
Yes.
I was pretty much the lead on that. One of the leads, at least. It was Fitz, Miller, Blitz, and we were coordinating with Denny and Messer. And you're correct. It is it's a lot of money to run the server that we are using now, because well, we're thinking long term down the road, man. We want to have as many people as possible playing on the server, so it requires very delicate hardware in order to run.
Sure.
I'll tell you what, we have two CPUs in our server. We have 128 gigs of RAM, a one core port, no, actually 1 gigabit per second port network connection. So we went all out on this because we needed to have the power and the infrastructure to deliver TARP's mission to bridge that gap. So, do I think we're going to ever hit that ceiling? Probably not with the server specs we have. The problem that we're going to run into is software.
Okay.
And the reason why we're going to run into software is, again, the things I mentioned with the cars, having all these scripts. It just depends on if we can keep them optimized, keep
Sure.
them working correctly, and making sure that they're not causing issues. I hate throwing in a script, Chris, or a car, and then immediately having to take it out.
Sure.
Okay, I mean that's depressing for the players. That's depressing for me because I really wanted the player to enjoy the functionality.
Right.
Right now, that doesn't mean that later on down the road, if players aren't utilizing a particular thing, for example, maybe the laser tag.
Sure.
Okay, for example, if they're not using the laser tag, we may make the decision to pull it out and put something else in.
Sure.
Right. I don't want to have 1,400 scripts, which it's funny, funny little thing. I was reading on the Reddit the other day. There is a guy that put 1,400 scripts in his server and posted a help question. Why does it take 10 minutes for me to load into the server? Why all of a sudden, after I threw these scripts in, I, I lag. It takes me 10 minutes to move. Like, well, dude, because you have 1,400 scripts and you were not very selective on what you put in there. So, anyway, a lot of people teased and laughed at him. I wasn't one of those. All I could do was just shake my head. So yes, there is a ceiling. We just got to be
Okay.
very cautious in what we do. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Um, and I was gonna. That was gonna be something else that I asked was, do you, you know, and you brought up laser tag. Like if you see, hey, nobody's really utilizing laser tag. Let's take the memory or the space that it's taking out,
Exactly.
and then
Yes.
we can put something else in that people would use.
Exactly. Just we can bring back laser tag here and there if we wanted to, but absolutely, I would rather replace it with something else that some people would use because I get it. Maybe laser tag or the go kart would get boring, and something else should be put in its place.
Okay.
Absolutely. So yes, that's something that again just depends on how often it's used, if it's even used. So
Okay.
if it's used, well, of course we're not going to get rid of it. We're going to keep it in there. So it just again depends on use, and the players enjoy it, and it's something that
Okay.
they want to keep.
Can you track it? Do you have the ability to see, hey, people aren't really using this? Do you have ability to do that at all?
Yes and no. Yes and no. When I'm in the game itself, I have a resource monitor, and when the script is being used, I can certainly see if it's being used because I'll see the jump up on resource usage.
Sure.
Um, but I also watch a lot of people's streams. I watch yours. I watch Lady Assaults. I watch Messers. I watch several others,
Sure.
and I like to watch and see what they do. And if I see them using it, and other people are using it with them, then that tells me, hey, look, it's a script and a function that people are enjoying. Well, then of course we'll leave it in there. But
Okay.
if I just don't actively see people using it, then I'll go to the board and tell everybody, look, I'm not seeing a lot of use on this. What do you think if we take this out and put this something else in instead? So, yes and no to your question there.
Okay.
I can track it. Yeah.
All right. So tell me about this. So let's just say, knock on wood, something you get a ticket that something's going on with something. All right. Let's just say handcuffs aren't working. I don't know. There's something, handcuffs aren't working. They've always worked, but for whatever reason, now they're not working. Um, I think one question would be how, why or how does that happen? And then two, the second side of that is, how do you go in and fix that? Are you having to go through like every letter and figure out where there's a dot when there should be a slash, or like what does that process look like to fix something that pops up like that?
Sure, sure. That's a very good question. Very good question. Uh, the first thing that I would ask is I would go into my dev chat that I have, that have all the other developers in, and I say, "Yo, uh, bruh, anyone change anything with the police job, with handcuffs in particular?"
Yeah,
They say, "Yeah, yeah, man, I changed this." Well, okay, let me see what you changed, or at least provide me with some insight as far as what changes you made.
sure.
Um, Sometimes it's not even like that. If they say, "No, I didn't," then it could be something that the player is doing,
Okay,
and then I would require more information, like, okay, how are you trying to use the handcuffs? Are you pressing a key? Are you dragging the item to use? Whatever it may be.
sure.
And then I will go into the test server and I will try to reproduce the issue if I can.
Okay.
Now, believe it or not, there are some issues that I just cannot reproduce. For example, I'll just throw this out here because I know people are dreading this. I know it. I feel their pain. Uh, Vehicle modifications not sticking to the car,
Okay.
the paint job, the turbo boost that you equip. Believe me, I feel your pain. I understand it is frustrating. Believe me, I get it. But I'll tell you what, since I joined the community back in September, um, we really didn't start having the issue till February, but I'll tell you what, I have tried everything I can. I've tried getting my other devs involved. We even tried reaching out to the script creator himself, and he's like, "No, man, I don't know why that you're having these issues."
Right.
Oh, great. Well, now we have another problem somewhere. So, um, basically, we try to fix it the best we can if we can try to reproduce it. So, but to get back to your question, certainly, it's a process of elimination. Anyone make any changes? No. Okay. So then we ask more questions in the ticket. What did you do? Okay, you did X, Y, and Z. Let me see if I can reproduce it. If I
Sure.
can reproduce it, then I'll just go into the code and see at what point, which I'm very good at reading it, seeing which point uh, the script is getting lost at or isn't able to compute. And
Sure.
then I'll go in and make some changes and then retest. And if it works, then we'll throw it back out to live and see if that fixes the issue, and then close out the ticket if it does. So
Okay. All right. So it's not as elaborate as having to go through every, like, that's what I imagine. I imagine like you got goggles on and you're just reading through code and you're like, "Oh, there's a dot there and there should be a slash."
sure, sure. Believe it or not, the functions are written handcuff, for example. So, okay, well, I'll just scroll down to line 700 where handcuff is being triggered and see what's going on there. Okay, now if it's being triggered from there and then it's been triggered somewhere else
Yeah.
after that, then I have to look at two different places. But usually it's localized to one area. So, no, I don't have like a jumbo wall of text.
Okay. All
Okay.
right. That makes me feel better cuz I'm like, "Man, can you imagine having to go through all of that?"
Yeah, I'd be bald, man. I'd be bald. Sometimes I just pull my hair out with some of the things that I have to debug. So sometimes it feels that way. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes it does feel that way, but no, it's well commented and it's easy to pick it up sometimes, most of the
Okay.
time.
All right. So I think I've heard you. I think I've seen you say this somewhere along the way, but all of this for you is self-taught. Like you've just kind of, you may not have started with the academy, but like you've taught yourself how to go through these processes.
I have. I absolutely have. I mentioned my degrees at the very beginning. None of it had anything to do with IT, coding, or anything like that.
Right.
So when I was in charge or running I wasn't in charge. We shared the responsibility. But when Fitz, Miles, Miller, Blitz, and myself um, were all together in Georgia Roleplay, I started teaching myself even a little while before they even joined.
Okay.
And I said, I have to learn this because one, I want the community to grow, right? I want to put new features in for them. I want them to
Sure.
look forward to be getting on to the server and try out some new things, every so often. So this is something I've got to learn. And I'll tell you what, it's all new language. All
Sure.
new language. That's what it is. Okay. It is an all new language. It's learning machine language. That's what it is. So I did teach myself that. I'm going to tell you what, I didn't go to school,
Yeah.
as I said, but there's still a lot I don't know, Chris. There's still a lot I don't know. And I'm still learning it. I'm trying to pass on what I know to people. That's why we have the junior development program. So I'm trying to find more time to be a little bit more involved in that. But I'll tell you what, there were many countless hours of watching videos, reading books, and breaking things. I can't tell you how many times I've had to rebuild servers of learning what not to do.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you don't want to do this because that's going to crash everybody. And I still sometimes make the same mistake.
Yeah.
Like the other day, I had I think I had Trav in the server, and I forgot to put an end to close the function. And after I restarted the script, I'm like, well, why is my screen frozen? I'm like, he's like, yeah, mine too. Okay, okay. Well, I realized I forgot to throw in another end to close the loop, so it was running and it crashed the server.
Yeah.
like you crashed the server, didn't you? And I said, yeah, that was me. That was me. Okay, so I know I got to add another end here. So sometimes, we laugh and we joke about that too, because I make mistakes. They sometimes make mistakes, but we've been very fortunate that the mistakes that have been made have been easily been able to be corrected.
Sure.
Yeah, so we've been very fortunate.
I love that. Um, all right. So I have to ask this question. Um, and I had this question posed to me several times for this particular interview. And as far out as when I first announced it to as recently as today, the same question, which is uh, why or what is the love that you have for the Crown Vic? Evidently, you love the Crown Vic. It's something that you're passionate about. I've heard this multiple times, and they just said you cannot talk to Evans and not find out why he loves the Crown Vic. So so what is that, man? Because I like Vicky. I am a fan of Vicky, but I don't know that I'm obsessed with it. Matter of fact, if I remember in the chat somewhere, it said they were surprised you didn't have posters of the Vic on your wall and a tattoo of the Vic on your body. So just share it with me, man. What is it about the Vic that you love? And is that
Oh,
true? Is that a true thing, or are they just messing with me?
no, they are very, very accurate.
Okay.
Very, very accurate.
Okay. All
Uh,
right.
okay, so oh boy. Okay. So the Vic, I have driven Vics all my life. I have been
Okay.
driving Vic for 20 years.
Okay.
Okay. I have driven them all. I've driven the town car. I've driven the Grand Marquis, the Vic. When I was in policing, that's all I had.
Okay.
Growing up, family had those things. They were so reliable, and they still are. And I still have one today sitting out in my driveway right now. So I still drive one to this day
So
to
your
work.
personal vehicle, just so I'm clear, is a Crown Vic.
Yes, it is.
Uh,
69,000 miles on it, man.
okay.
2010
All right.
model. So I was very, very fortunate to catch that. And it's like I went up to the dealership because I was looking online for it. I got in Texas.
Yeah.
And there it was. It was just sitting there perfectly. Like I just turned the corner. There was just like it was meant to be, man. It was meant to be. So so here's the thing. I don't know if you saw Cuffham Stream. I don't know if you saw it, but yes, that was me in the taxi cab. That
Okay.
was me. That was me. And everything that I said in that stream was the God's honest truth. When they discontinued the Vic back in 2011, I was livid. I was livid. I said it couldn't have been the Mustang. It couldn't have been the Focus or the Taurus, whatever was out there.
Yeah. Just something else.
The Crown Vic. They discontinued the Crown Vic. So I wrote the president of Ford. I wrote him a very strongly worded letter.
Yes.
Very strongly worded letter.
Yes.
And it must have been like 2 pages long. I could have made 5 or 6 pages, but I said, "No, he's gonna stop reading after page 2." So I wrote him the letter. I said, "Man, first of all first of all, this is one of your top selling cars. I know you didn't sell much in 2010 or 2011, but look at the police agencies and taxi drivers that
Yeah.
drive this. They are reliable. Okay, they're comfortable, they're roomy, they're the perfect vehicle for a family, I think, especially for police. They still are to this day. I'm so ticked that they got rid of it. So I wrote the letter. I stamped it. I marked it as personal. I was smart. Okay, because I knew I didn't want his secretary to read it. I did not want his secretary to read it. I wanted it to be labeled personal. I labeled it personal all over so they couldn't miss it. So I get a letter back, oh, maybe about a month later, man. And the president said, well, Mr. Evans, we see that you really love the Vic. We're sorry to have discontinued it. And they gave me some excuse. But, while we're not making it anymore, uh, we do have a wide variety of other four-door sedans we recommend, like the Taurus. The Taurus is a great car. And I'm like, well, great. You managed to insult me twice. Finished insulting me twice. You got rid of the Crown Vic, and now you're insulting me by telling me go to a Taurus.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
no, I do not want a Taurus. I don't want a Focus, a Fusion. No, 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 no. So
Uh,
I, I very much. I'm not obsessed. I'm not. It may seem like I am, chat. It may seem like I am. I am not obsessed with that much. I don't have posters, as you can tell.
yeah.
Okay, I don't. I don't
Yeah.
have posters.
That we can see at least.
That,
Maybe to the side or something.
yeah,
There's a
maybe in the
cardboard
closet.
stand up on the side. I know it. It's there.
Yeah, yeah, they're all there. I have to look normal for this. So,
Yes.
so it has always held a special place in my heart. And when I see someone, when I see somebody, okay, damage that thing,
Yeah.
I go off like you wouldn't believe. It should be life in prison. Like this is a crime against nature, bro.
Yeah.
A crime against nature. We got no, 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 no. You're not damaging this perfect vehicle here. Uh-uh. No, no, sirree. No. So I have yes, yes. I am Ford's biggest Crown Vic fan, and I'll be willing to challenge anybody about that. I am. I truly am. That is my car. That is the only car I will drive in
Okay.
the game. Occasionally, I may be coerced into driving a Charger, but that car, oh man, it is. It's a beauty. It
It's a
always
beauty.
has, always will.
I love it, and I love that you have one outside, and that's your daily driver, right? Like
It
that's
is. It is my daily driver. Runs great.
it's so great. Uh, there was something that came up. I'm not sure if I saw this right, but there was something about you had to teach a Ford dealer a lesson when they dented your hood or something like that. Is that?
Okay, okay, okay. Wow, they're really calling me out tonight on this stuff. Okay.
They put you
So
in that.
yes, 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 yes. So, man, this was about 90 days ago. I brought my car into the dealership for an oil change. I
Okay.
know, big mistake, chat. I know, I know. You can tell me. You can tell me. But I just don't have the time or the tools. I don't. I work
Okay.
10, 12 hours a day. I just don't have time to do it. So I
Sure.
figure, dealership, fine. I'll supply my own oil. I bring in the filter. All they have to do is just drain it and pour the oil. It's that simple. They don't have to do anything else.
Sure.
Okay. Or so I thought. So I bring in an oil change. I leave the dealership. I get home. I'm looking at my hood from the driver's side. I just rolled into my driveway and just cut it off. The hood looks misplaced or like out of place. It looks shifted. I get out. Chris, I kid you not. There is a gigantic dent in my hood. Gigantic dent. I'm like, what in the bloody heck is this? All they had to do was just drain the oil. What?
Yeah.
Why? Why is there a hood? My hood dented. So I drove back to Ford the following day because when I realized it, they had already closed.
Yeah.
Drove there the following day. I said, I want to speak to the service manager right now. Why? What for? Because you dented my hood. That's why, Miss Secretary. I want to talk to your service manager now.
Yeah.
So here he comes walking down the hallway. I point down the hallway. I said, You, come with me. We walk outside. I said, Do you see anything wrong with this? Yeah, you have a big dent in the hood. Yeah, it wasn't like that yesterday. It wasn't like that yesterday at all. I just brought this in to get an oil change, and now there's a dent in my hood, man. What are you going to do about it? Well, sir, Mr. Evans, we can't prove that it was us. Where's the mechanic? Where's the mechanic? I start walking into the bay. Where's the mechanic that worked on my Vic? And he's following Mr. Evans. I will find him. You darn right you're going to find him. You darn right you are. So he walks in and finds the mechanic, and the mechanic says, Oh, yeah, I needed to use, because the hood wouldn't raise. The hood wouldn't stand up on its own. So they
Right.
use clamps.
Lamps.
Clamps to
Okay.
keep the hood up. So then the manager comes out and says, Mr. Evans, yeah, he used clamps. Why do you use clamps? Well, your hood wouldn't stay up. I didn't know the hood wouldn't stay up. Why didn't you just say, look, your hood isn't staying up. Why don't we fix it while we're at it? I'd say, sure, take my credit card. Here you go, fix it.
Yeah.
Well, no, I'm going to use clamps to do your oil change. He said, Mr. Evans, I know this looks bad. You darn right it's bad. But I'm expecting something to be done about this. He said, okay, well, go get an estimate. said, all right, I'll go get an estimate. So I take it down to the body shop about 5 or 6 miles from here. I bring out one of the mechanics there that works on it, and he said, "My God, what happened to it? What happened to your car? What happened to your hood?" Ford. Ford did it. You mean the one up the street? Yep, that's the one. He's like, okay, man. So the hood is about $350. I thought that was pretty cheap. That was a pretty good price. But then we got to paint it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I don't want a black colored hood on a silver car,
Right.
which the car is silver,
Okay.
beige actually, beige silvers. So anyway, he types me up a quote. It was going to be like $2,000
Woo.
for paint, parts, labor, and all that. So I bring it to him. Guy's not there. Secretary says, "All right, I'll leave it on his desk. He'll see it tomorrow." Okay, all right. Anyway, this guy has the nerve to call up the mechanic I just talked to get the quote and said, $2,000 for a hood? $2,000. It's 350. I'm looking at it right here. And the guy says, "Yeah, but it has to be painted. You're not going to give this guy a different color hood."
Yeah.
No, 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 no. And I found out about that when I went to go in to put down a down payment on it. He's like, "Dude, I have to get some money down for this." I said, "All right, I'll pay whatever I need to get down for it. Ford will reimburse me." So anyway, I found out about it. I called up the service manager. I said, did you just chew out the guy that's going to be fixing my car? Uh, I've taken your silence and your stuttering as a yes. Okay. You have no right to call up that mechanic and chew him out based on work and damage that you and your mechanic and your dealership have done. Okay. Were you just going to just give me a $350 hood and slam it shut and say, "That's it. We're all done here, folks. You enjoy your car." No. You are going to get this painted, and I want this car looking the same way it was, if not better. Okay. It's like, "Well, Mr. Evans, I don't know if I can find the funding for it." You're going to find the funding for it. Well, I'm going to be writing the president again. You wrote the president? Yes, I wrote the president. As soon as you discontinued these cars, the president and I are probably on a one name to name basis
Yeah.
now.
You're friends. You're friends. 100%.
Exactly. Exactly. We're buddies. We're like this now. Oh Lord. So he's thinking, okay, all right, Mr. Evans, I'll find out. I'll get the $2,000 for you. Took him a month to get the $2,000. A month to get the $2,000 it is to fix my poor Crown Vic. So he finally, I finally got the check. I walked in, I handed it to him, and I said, "There's your check. Get it done. I can't wait to have my beauty back in my possession." So yes, I chewed out Ford up and down, left and right,
Yeah.
and guess what? They still want to buy the car from me. They still want to buy the every time I bring it there just to, ask a question or
Yeah.
they wanna buy it. They wanna buy it from me. And even when if I take it to a different place for an oil change, they still wanna buy it from me because it's clean. There's no dirt on the tires. I keep it that clean. I baby that thing,
Yeah.
y'all. I baby that thing. I don't even like to get it past 3 or 4,000 RPM. I'm not a speed demon. I like to drive it comfortably. I
Yeah.
like to just drive it. I'm just driving around the city in this thing. It's a dream. It's a beauty to drive. So but when you mess with my car,
Yes.
okay, you can take anything else.
Yeah.
You mess with my vehicle, it's on like Donkey Kong, Chris. It's on like Donkey Kong, and that's what happened.
Oh, I
So,
love it. Uh, so I can so when multiple people wrote me and said you have to ask Evans about the Crown Vic, I didn't understand it. I didn't. I was like, all right, I'll just ask him about it. I get it now. I can tell by your face and the passion in your voice. You love the Vic.
I love it, man. I love it. I always will love it. I don't know what I'm gonna do when that one out there just collapses, but I'm gonna ride the wheels off of it, man. I love it. I love it with the passion. Always have, always will, and I'm taking good care of it because I want it to last me as long as it possibly can. Because parts are getting difficult for it to find now, and so yeah, I'm keeping it running.
I
That
love
that's
it.
my baby.
All right, do you have a name for it? Do you name all of your Vics different names, or they all have the same name?
Okay, okay. Believe it or not, I'm not that crazy. I do
Okay.
not have a name for it. I do
Okay.
not.
All right.
Because then I really get even more attached to it, and then I become even more crazy. And y'all don't. No,
I think
no.
we need to come up with a name. Like we need to call it like the Silver Fox or something like that. Like it needs something. It needs a dope name so it can be like, there's Foxy out there, the Silver Fox.
Okay. All right. Well, you know what? If chat wants to come up with one, and you take a poll, you know what? Sure. Why not?
All
Why
right, all
not?
right, chat. You heard it right here. Give me some names for the Vic, and then we'll do a poll and see what we can see if we can officially name the Vic. All right, so give me some names. What do you think? What should we name? Somebody said it's silver, right? It's silver,
Silver beige. Yes.
like a
Yes.
like a
So
beige
like a
silver
beige.
color.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So that's what it is. So, all right, what do y'all think? We can name Evan's car right here, right now, and then you could even go get a license plate made.
I guess I'll have to at that point then,
Yeah,
huh?
it would just be like whatever it is. So all right, we'll see what comes in. We'll see what they come up with. I'm liking Silver Fox. I'm thinking someone said just go real simple, call it Vicky. I like that. I'm not against that one. Just good old Vicky.
Hey, that's not bad. I like it too. I like it too.
You know what I wish though? I wish that you had different names for all of your Vics, and so you could be like, man, I remember old Pete. He was a good one. Good old Pete. Like you just thinking back through time, and they're like, "Who's
Yep.
Pete?" I'd be like, "Oh, that was my Vic a couple years ago."
Yes, you're right. You're right.
I think we missed a real opportunity there. All right, so here we go. So Vicky, Silver Bullet, Beige Beauty. I like Beige Beauty too.
Beige beauty. Okay. All
I like
right.
Beige
That's right.
Beauty. I like that. Uh, Someone said all of my trucks had names. Yeah, no, I think that they need names. I like that. All right, we'll get a couple more and then maybe we'll vote. So, okay, all right. That was hilarious, man. I really had no idea, but I honestly had multiple people say, "Ask Evans about the Vic." And now I get it. I totally get it.
And now the whole community knows. So there we go. There we
It's
go.
out there. It's out there. I love it. All right, here we go. All right, so Vicky. All right, here we go. So we're gonna do a poll. Let's see what we can come up with here. See if I can figure out my polls here. Here we go. All right, so name the car. Okay, so we got Vicky, which is going to be Vic. We've got Beige Beauty. We'll do Butte. Okay. And then what was the other one? Oh, Silver Bullet. Okay, Silver Bullet. Silver Bullet. And we'll just do Bull. Okay. All right, so here we go. Here we go. Let me see how long we want to run this for. We'll do this for we'll do 60 seconds. No, we'll do 90 seconds. We'll do 90 seconds to let you guys vote a little bit. We'll do that, and there's that. Okay. All right. Here we go. All right. So we have started the poll. If you want to use Vicky, exclamation point Vic. If you want to do Beige Beauty, exclamation point Butte, Beut. And if you want to do Silver Bullet, exclamation point Bull. So it's exclamation point either Vic, Butte, or Bull. Vic, Butte, or Bull. All right. So we got about, let's see, you got about 55 seconds if you want to vote. 55 seconds. Well, do you have a preference? What are you thinking here? I like them all. I don't think you can go wrong here.
No, no, these are some very good suggestions. Thank you, Chad, for those great suggestions so far. I can't wait to see which one. I really like the beige beauty.
Beige
Uh,
Beauty.
I really like that one.
I
That
like
one.
that one too. I like that one too. I thought that was really good. They're coming in. I mean, people are voting. Uh, you got about 20 seconds left. So yeah, if you want to do Vic, so exclamation point Vic. If you want to do Beige Beauty, exclamation point Butte, Beut, and then bullet exclamation point Bull. So just be careful. Yeah, might as well have said silver bullet. There's more than one kind, so be careful. All right, that's it. That's it. That's it. Time's up. Time's up. All right, here we go. You can no longer vote. Are you ready for the results?
Yeah, let's do it, Chris.
All right. Here we go. With a total of, it looks like Vic won it. It looks like Vicky is the winner.
Vicky is the winner. All right.
Vicky is the
It's
winner.
all right. Thank you, chat. Thank you so much for that. That's great. I love the name. Vicky
So
it wins.
now we officially have a name
Yes, we do.
for the Vic, which is Vicky. I like it.
Love it too. Great name. Great
Man,
name.
look at the things that we're accomplishing tonight. It's
Guys, it's great. It's great.
it is
It's
great.
wonderful.
I love it. I love it. All right, guys. Hey, what other questions do you have for Evans, man? Let me know what you're thinking. I know somebody asked earlier what happened to the apple juice.
What happened to the apple juice? Um,
I think Lady Assault asked that question.
what happened to the apple juice? Okay. Lady Salt, I'm sorry. I'm trying to remember what you're referring to as far as the apple juice goes. I do love apple juice, but I don't think that's what you're asking me. So I
I guess it was in the game. Is it not? Did it get taken out? Do you know?
apple juice. If it was in the game, I don't recall if apple juice was in the game or not. I don't. It may have been during the ESX days. I don't know
Oh,
if
it
it
was
was
part
more
of
with
farming. Somebody said, Ryan, I think said it's part of farming.
part of farming. Okay. Yes. So good news is farming is coming back.
Okay.
I'm going to put it out there right now. Okay, the farming script that we had before really didn't work the way I wanted it to. It really didn't feel like you were a farmer.
Okay.
Okay, I'm just putting it plain simple to the point there. So I've secured another one. You actually can level up in the farming job where then you can start driving a tractor and plowing the fields. Kind of feels more like a farmer would do and does.
Yeah.
So that will be coming. I just don't have a date on when I'm going to release that yet, but I do have it in the dev server. It is being worked on. There's some other things that I want to do to it first. Okay. And then it will come back. There was also an exploit in the first script that people were taking advantage of getting a lot of money.
Sure.
And I can't stand exploits. I can't stand cheaters and cheating. So as soon as I found out about this, like, let's just take it out altogether. But it is coming back. You'll be able to plant things.
Okay.
I will see about apple juice. I'll see about apples just for you, Lady Assault. So
All right.
we'll see. We'll see.
I like it. I like it. All right. So I'm not. This question may be legit, but it kind of feels like a setup. But I'll ask it anyway. Okay.
Okay.
Fast Traveler asks, Trav wants to know, how does changing permissions to files affect server performance?
How does Okay. Changing permission. Okay. It doesn't. It
Okay.
doesn't.
All right.
So, changing permissions it doesn't affect does not affect the performance of the server at all. I don't know if he's kidding with me by pulling my leg on this or not,
Maybe. I have no idea.
but no, there's no impact on that at all because it's not done in the game. It's just a Linux command line. We do everything in command line. There's no Windows operating system on our server. All of it's done by command line. So you actually type the commands.
Okay.
So there is no performance hindrance by changing that because it's so fast, like less than a millisecond. I can change permissions, so you wouldn't notice anything anyway.
Okay. All right. Very good. Somebody asked, "What is the comforter behind you? What is that? Is it? I don't know why they. Ganker asked that. That's my buddy Ganker.
Okay, so the comforter behind me. Okay, okay. So do you remember, Chris, towards the beginning, how I said I am a big sci-fi fanatic?
Yeah.
Okay, so it is the USS Voyager from Star Trek.
Okay.
And if you see over the bed there,
Yeah.
that's the Voyager painting that I actually got while I was in Vegas. I actually got it signed by the whole cast, so that's why it's up there.
Oh,
So
that's so dope.
it is. I've met them all. I've met Patrick Stewart. I met well, Sir Patrick Stewart because that's what they call him now. And I've met a lot of these people that play on Star Trek. So met Leonard Nimoy before he passed,
Wow.
and Scotty. So wonderful people. Certainly do miss them. So especially in today's world, it would be great if they were still around.
I love that.
Uh, to answer the question, it's the USS Voyager, Star Trek Voyager fan. I've always enjoyed that and TNG. So that's what it is. Yeah, again, it may be a little geeky, a little nerdy, but hey, look, it's pretty much just me in this room. So that's what it is.
Okay.
That's what it is. Yeah.
All right. So, all right. So, Fast Traveler followed up to his question and said, to be clear, how does when Ryan changed permissions affect the city? It sounds
Oh,
like a
yeah.
setup. The more and more we get into this, I feel like,
Okay. I think what he's trying to do is kind of throw Ryan under the bus here.
yeah, why would you do that? We love Ryan. You can't throw
We
him under
we
the
love
bus.
Ryan. Ryan's a great guy. I
Yeah,
have no
absolutely.
issues with Ryan. He did make a little screw up.
Yeah,
Okay,
who
so
doesn't?
right, right. So I guess, Chris, I should reword my answer to that previous question.
Okay, all right, all right.
If you change the permissions correctly, then there won't be any issues.
I got you. Okay.
But when you go in and you forget to put the name of the folder and you end up choosing the whole system,
Yeah.
then everything stops working, as we found out. And when that happened, uh, thankfully, less than 3 hours of downtime, we were able to fix it for the most part, at least get people back in the game. So when Ryan makes permission changes, sometimes I am biting my nails a little bit when he says, I want to change the permission here. Okay, well, don't forget the folder name. Don't just put slash. You put slash. You're
Yeah.
choosing the whole computer box. So, so I didn't want to really call Ryan out on it because I didn't want to
Yeah,
embarrass
look.
the guy. But you know, I yeah, yeah. So
Hey, but you know what? You live and you learn. You know what I mean?
absolutely, absolutely, you do, and that's how you learn. That's right. He probably won't make that mistake again.
Yeah,
I'll tell you that.
absolutely. My buddy Dilly asked, are Leo Blips coming back onto the map?
Leo Blips. I'm going to say it no at this time. There's no plans to bring him back
Okay.
just because of performance and things like that. So I'm going to say no at this time. That's why the live map feature is there in Sonoran right now. Now, if we ever move away from Sonoran, I don't know what we're going to do. I don't know. I'm going to have to think and talk with the team about that one if that's something we even want to bring back, because I do think that was part of the crash that we had at one of the parades.
Yeah.
Memorial Day parade, I think, or something. It was one of the parades. I don't remember. That was a contributing factor to that. So if you have too many blips in one area, it can cause some issues. So
Okay.
again, it comes back down to optimization, as I said. So short answer, no, at least not at this time.
Okay. Oh man. Miles Miller says he said it's not a question. He says he has a wall of Crown Victoria paintings on the other wall.
Yeah. Oh
And
yeah,
then,
yeah, yeah.
and then the last part is all signed. I can't even say it. All signed by the assembly line workers.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Miles. Thank you.
I
Yes.
love
Yes.
that.
I've got them all sitting way over
Oh my
there.
gosh, that's so
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah. And I've got one. Guess what? Guess what? Really sexy. No body. It's just the frame. Just the frame. So, oh yeah, that's my sexy one. Yeah. Yeah. So,
Oh my gosh, man, this is hilarious. Oh. Man, I'm so glad we had the Vic conversation because I didn't understand the passion behind it, but I'm glad that we're there. All right. Chris Word says, I have tried learning Lua through Udemy. Have you ever used Udemy?
I am not familiar with that actually. So if you
Did I
want to,
say that right?
I know what he's talking about. I've heard of it, but as far as actually using it, I've not actually used it. So if that's something that he thinks could even help me, I'd love to take a look at it. So absolutely, send me a DM after this here, and I'd love to take a look at it here in the coming days and see what it has to offer because I may learn something else. I'm always open to learning that. So
Okay. Dilly followed up and said, "How do we get a live map in Sonoran? No option for me."
okay, good question. Open up a support ticket and include your Sonoran username. And we'll make sure that we toggle that option for you. I have to go in because the permission keys are messed up. Somehow, I don't know how. I have to go in and actually edit each user to enable the live map feature. So just open up a ticket, include your snoring username. That's all I need.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Oh, they're saying it's like Academy, but Udemy. Udemy. Okay. All right. They're trying to tell me how to say it.
Oh,
Uh,
okay, okay.
um, let's see. All right. Well, all right. So let's do this. Let's kind of do this. You had some things that you'd been working on that aren't ready yet, but you kind of wanted to show them.
That's correct. I actually have three things, not terribly long. I know we've gone over time tonight, Chris, and
No,
I'm
you're
sorry.
good, man. We've had a great conversation.
We have. Yeah, so I'd like to explain the three things real quick before I actually take you all in game into the development server and show you three things that I've been working on. The first thing, I'm going to announce the biggest one first. Spotlights on the vehicles. Okay.
That's
Now, I'm
awesome.
not talking about the actual spotlight on the model of the car. I'm talking about an actual working spotlight that emits from the vehicle. And then you would use your arrow keys to move the spotlight around the area.
That would be very
Uh,
cool.
so I've got that in game. It works for all LEO departments.
Okay.
Sorry, fire. I'm not giving this ability to you. This will just be something for police here.
Now, will it
But
work on helicopters too?
well, helicopters, there is a heli script we're still trying to get working on. Unfortunately,
Okay.
it's not performance friendly. It's not. And that's the biggest holdback that we've had. We're trying to find some other options for the helicopter because that would be cool to have. But right now, no, it does not work on helis. It just works on the standard patrol vehicle. So I'll show that here in just a little bit. We'll probably go down an alley or something, and then I'll just show you how it
Okay.
works. It's great for parking garages, I think, and it's great for back alleys. Kind of
Yeah.
gives you some immerse you in the LEO world a little bit by
Yeah.
having that functionality. The next thing that doesn't have anything really to do with LEO is taser effect. So when you get tased, you actually have a screen effect.
Okay.
So I want to demonstrate that.
All
I
right.
think that would be really cool to have because it will actually affect your character and how you see, how your screen appears for several seconds. And the last thing is that a lot of people have been asking about is being able to call for EMS manually. So right now, if you were to die or collapse, EMS would be automatically notified, hey, look, there's a civilian down on so and so freeway
Okay.
or whatever street. So now you will have the option of toggling that, uh, with any time between the time that you die and 900 seconds when you respawn, 15 minutes or so. So you'll be able to toggle that yourself. So that'll be great for RP if someone wants to take you to the hospital and EMS doesn't, shows up uh, and no one's there. That should at
Yeah.
least fix that problem. And then I'm also having some other bug fixes released probably next week regarding trying to check in at a hospital. I've noticed that when a fire EMS person that has that job leaves the game, the server hasn't been accurately deducting that player from the list of online EMS personnel. So I kind of
Okay.
fixed that. A lot of this week's been about bug fixes. I don't know if people noticed, but we got the weapon repair working, and several other things that I believe really needed to be fixed. So for the past few weeks, I've been really focused on bugs.
Okay.
So I'm focused on that a little bit and working on some of these other features at the same time. So Chris, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and share my screen.
Yep. Do it. I'm ready for you.
Discord here.
All right. So tell us what we're looking at here.
All right, so where we're here in the city, of course. Now I'm in a state trooper car. I am not favoring state troopers. I'm not biased. I have to put that out there. Um, okay, so we're down here in the back alley. We're over here by the fire station. And one of the things that I like to do whenever I get out there and patrol is I like to hit these back alleys. So one of the things that was suggested the other day by um, Duggar Phoenix, I forget the last part of his name, was about having a spotlight,
Okay.
and that's something that I've really wanted to bring to LEOs to just help increase immersion. So this is how the spotlight works. It's in the radio menu, as everyone should be familiar with. It would be under vehicle. Uh, Actually, excuse me. No, it would be under work. Excuse me. Police actions and then vehicle actions. And then there's the spotlight with the little light bulb. So you toggle that, and then look, we got a spotlight to the right, shining on Hayes
Oh, okay.
Auto. Now, I would use the arrow keys to move the spotlight around
Oh,
the alley.
that's really
Now,
cool.
I've been asked, well, Evans, why is it emitting from the center of the vehicle? You're correct, it is. The problem is if I try to emit it from the actual spotlight of the car, that gets very, very, very difficult because every car is different. The spotlight is not positioned in the same position every time for each vehicle. And when I try to make the other change to like if I wanted to for the Crown Vic, if I wanted
Right.
to have it come out of the spotlight there, it would be very, very tricky to line up if you were to try making turns, going around corners. It would look so odd. So I figured, okay, let me just emit it from the middle of the vehicle. Now, the cool thing is, as well, is that you can trigger the spotlight on driver side and passenger side. Anyone in the back won't be able to trigger it. So if you have a ride along, you have someone that you're riding with for one evening, and you want to hit these back alleys, you both can trigger the spotlight at the same time and go down the parking garages um, or these back alleys. So I'm just going to
Okay.
come down this back alley here, and I'm just patrolling. I'm just patrolling here, just seeing what's going on. Anything going on over here in this alley? And as you can tell, the light is quite bright. I
Right.
mean, you can certainly see if someone's there or if something's going on. Okay, nothing going on down there. So let's just creep along here. All right, anything going on over here? Well, seems pretty quiet, peaceful, and calm to me. So, all right, so we'll just drive down a little further. And all right, this looks good.
That's
So,
really cool.
how do we cut it off? Well, same exact way as before. We'll go into police actions, vehicle actions, spotlight, and the spotlight is cut off. So I have optimized the spotlight, Chris, to only work when you're in a certain distance of it, which is great because if, let's say, you're in Polito and an officer in the city is using a spotlight, well, I don't want the spotlight driven or drawn, is what they call it, drawn on the player that's up in Polito because there's no point. The player can't see it, right? So
Right.
therefore, it makes no sense for it to run on their machine and maybe not necessarily cause lag, but anyway. So therefore, there is a distance with it. So why don't I, just for grins and giggles, just show y'all what I mean by that. So I'm going to cut my spotlight back on. Okay, and I'm going to shine it right there. I'll take my seatbelt off, and we're working on EUP. That's why my character looks weird. I don't normally dress like this. My pants are not usually that low, but okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just start take off and running. And what I want everyone to focus on is that spotlight. So I'm going to have the camera looking back at me as I'm running. Just keep an eye on that spotlight. So when we reach the distance, that spotlight's going to cut off. Hope I don't get hit by a car. Aha!
I got
So
you.
the spotlight got turned off. So if I walk towards it, there's the light again.
Okay.
Off, on, off, on. So it is a pretty good distance. So if you're rolling up on a scene, you'll be able to tell from a certain distance back that this LEO has their spotlight on. So I just did that for optimization and for
That's a cool
performance.
feature. That's a cool thought process too. Um, just thinking through all of those little details of how far out you would be to see that spotlight on.
It is absolutely. So what I'm going to do now is I'm now going to test the taser
Okay.
effect. So let me cut off this spotlight first. All right, we're going to get out. And I'm going to turn it back to daytime. All right, so here we are. Brilliant day. So what I'm going to do is I actually wrote this the other day to test for our QC because sometimes they may not have any players available to tase them. So I created a command just for testing purposes. You won't be able to do this on live because I'm going to take the command out. Um, Test tase. So what's going to happen is as soon as I type in the command and I hit enter, a police officer is going to spawn and he's going to tase me.
Okay.
And he's going to immediately delete about 4 seconds after being spawned, and that's plenty enough time for the effect to trigger. So let me delete some of these peds here because I don't want to start a shootout over. Okay, so here we go. So there's the cop. Got a taser, shoots me. Screen goes red. I fall. I collapse immediately. Spazzing out like a fish out of water. Camera is shaking. Okay, and even when you get back up, the camera is swaying like, wow, you just got the wind knocked out of you, bruh.
I
Like,
like that. That's
yeah.
very cool.
So it lasts for a couple seconds and then you're back to seeing normally. So that still gives plenty enough time for LEOs to rush in, do the handcuffing, and get the person in custody right then and there. So there
Yeah,
is a taser effect now. Absolutely. And I think that's very much a welcome feature.
that's cool.
So what I'm going to do next is I'm actually going to simulate a death for my character. And I'm going to change my job to the ambulance job, which is fire EMS. And I am going to show what it looks like when you can manually summon for help there. So,
Okay.
all right. So now I am fire and EMS. So I'm going to go into my little control panel and I'm going to go to, oh, hey, there's Miller, Trav, and Wolf. Cool. Awesome. All right. So I'm going to hit kill. All right. So now I am simulated a death. Now, if you look down at the bottom, it'll say press G to request help. You'll bleed out in 894 seconds until you can be basically respawn at the hospital.
Right.
Whereas before, you had to wait till 300 seconds left in order to do it. Now you can call them at any time. And if you notice, EMS was not called at all. They never received a notification. Now, if I press G to request help, EMS has been notified. To the right of the screen, civilian down Carson Avenue.
Okay.
So you now actually get to decide, hey, look, yeah, I want EMS, or my buddy's going to pick me up and drag me to the hospital. So those are the three features I wanted to show.
Those are cool.
I do want to tell Fire and EMS there are some things coming for you. Some features with the hose. Actually, you'll be able to spray foam. That's right, foam on fires. This is particularly helpful when you're dealing with electrical fires. So if you have a fire like an electronics store in the city, you're not going to want to use water on that fire. One, first of all, that's a bad idea in RL in real life. So here in the game, if you use water on one of those fires that's an electrical fire, nothing's going to happen unless you use foam. So you're going to have a foam mode that you can toggle when you hook up the supply line to the actual fire truck. So that is something that'll be coming hopefully in the next few weeks. The spotlight for the LEOs, to be honest, I don't know when I'm going to release. I'm just being honest with you. The reason why I'm holding off on releasing it right now is because I kind of want to release it like an LEO update, like a big LEO update, something that I want to do. I
Sure.
want to try to give them some more features, and that's one of the features I really want to give them. So when I come up with some other features that I want to implement, I'll probably implement that at the same time. But guys, we have it. It is coming. You will be able to use it. Hopefully, you're just as stoked as I am about
That's
it. I
awesome,
love
man.
it. So we got some awesome things coming down the pipeline. We really do. We work on this daily. Daily on my days off. guys, this is what I'm doing. I do have a life. I'm not. I'm not one of those people just like, ooh, coding. Yes, 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 yes. Yes." No, that's not me. Okay. I do spend probably more time on this than I should. But, at the end of the day, it's you all are the reason why I'm doing this, why I spend my time, because I want to deliver a product to you that blows every other community out of the water. I want to help Officer Messer deliver his mission and get his word out there to as many people as we can. And I stand behind him. I very much stand behind him as pretty much all of us do. And I want to make sure that we as devs deliver the best experience possible and the most realistic experience possible to you all each and every time that you log in. I want you to be able to look forward to be able to log in here. And a lot of you have fun. I see it in the streams. I love it. I absolutely love it. I love watching y'all play this. That brings me so much joy, and I just can't get enough of it. I love watching y'all stream. So just know we're not sitting in on our hands, not doing anything. We are actively working. We work on this. Even when I'm not here at home, I'm still in DMs and messages with the other devs when they're working on things, and I'm helping out still. So this is a project here that will probably never finish because there's just so much more to do and add. And it's always constantly growing and constantly developing. So, just to recap, I want y'all to know we always put performance first over shiny stuff. We have to. Because if we have more shiny stuff that is not very well made, you're going to have issues. So, while I am at least a developer here at TARP, there will be a day I retire. Okay, there will be a day, but not anytime soon. At least while I am a developer here at TARP, I will always put performance uh, over any kind of shiny things. Okay,
Yeah,
cosmetic things, because at the end of the day, I want this place to be playable and enjoyable.
sure.
So, Chris, that's all I wanted to show you, brother. I wanted to show everybody. So,
That's
just
awesome, man.
whet your appetite a little bit, guys. There's some cool things coming.
No, that's very cool. I love that. All right, let's go. I'm going to stop watching this. There we go. There we go. Okay. There we go. All right. We back.
We're back.
We're back. Well, man, hey, thank you so much for jumping in here. It's been such a fun conversation. I've enjoyed getting to know your passion for Vix. We got to name your
Yep.
car.
Yep. That's great. I love it.
You explained developing so well. I think you did that so well, man. So I really appreciate you taking the time and walking through that and even demoing the stuff that you've been working on, brother.
Absolutely, Chris, and thank you for having me. I really want to let you know that I have had so much fun with you tonight and everyone else. I would really love to come back on your show one time. I would really like to, maybe if you're cool with it, maybe every 3 months or so.
No,
I
that'd
would
be
really
great.
like to come back on and do something similar to this and answer everyone's questions. I have had just I've been looking forward to this for the past month. I have had just an absolute blast, and I'm loved spending time with this community and of course you yourself. So if we could do this again in the near future, I it would make my day. I really would want to come back on your show, and any of the Twitch streamers that are out there, look, I wouldn't mind. I'd love to come on your shows too. If you'd like to have me, I would like to role play with y'all. I know I
Yeah,
don't have a lot of time. I know a lot of people don't know me when I get in there, but I really want to change that because I I do enjoy spending time with this community, and I would like to think I'm a great role player. So I'd like to actually RP with some of y'all,
yeah,
and I would enjoy it. I would love to get to know y'all better because all y'all know me as Evans, the guy that works behind the scenes. But I'll tell you what, I when I get into the game, I can be very fun to hang out with and
yeah.
and RP with.
No
So keep
doubt.
that. Yeah.
And we'll just keep an eye open for speeding Crown Vics through the city.
Yes, if you see those, you know, oh, he's at it again. He's at it again. There he is.
Well, man, hey, listen, you've got an open invitation, and we will definitely 100% get back together in a couple months and just kind of retouch base and talk about new updates. I've thoroughly enjoyed the conversation.
Likewise, brother. Again, thank you for having me. Everyone at TARP, I love y'all to death. I really, really do. I hope that this was informative and y'all took something away from this. I hope y'all had just as much fun as I did.
Yeah.
And I will see you in the city.
Yeah, see me in the city. And let me just say this before I let you go, man. And I am one person, one voice, but I think I speak for a lot of people. Thank you for the time that you invest and the work that you put in, and the effort that you and the team. It's a team effort, but all of you put in to making the performance and the experience so good. So thank you for that.
It is my pleasure. You all are the reason why we do it. So thank you for that, Chris. Absolutely. Again, thank you.
Yeah. Hey, I look forward to seeing you in the city, my friend.
All right.
All
Have
right,
a good
buddy.
one, everyone.
Have a good one.